So, Coach, what have you kind of seen from your team, from the offense side of the ball, about a week and a half in the training camp now? What have you just kind of seen from them?
Well, we wanted to come into fall camp and accomplish a couple things, and it was our schematics. We have to get better at our schematics. We have to develop a physical mindset, and we got to develop some chemistry. And I can say through up to where we are, we've done that. We still got a lot of room to grow, but I've liked the jump that we've seen. I feel a lot better about the depth in the guys in those rooms right now than I did when we walked off the practice field in April. So we got a lot of room to go, but we're getting better.
And I know Coach Keeler said, talked about last week, he's like, you gotta get cleaner on both sides of the ball. What have you kind of seen about that? Sometimes the team can be dealing with drops, false starts, stuff like that. So we've just kind of seen from a team on that side of the ball.
We still got a lot. Still got a lot of things that we have to clean up. Pre-snap, post-snap, ID, seeing the right things, running the right routes, and it's repetition. And we're new offense, new defense, new special teams, new staff. The guys are eager to learn, but sometimes when you're doing those things, it takes reps and reps and reps and reps. And again, if we're just getting 1% better each and every day, and they're not showing up as much, they're still showing up, but they're just not on a consistent basis. We're improving, and the guys are seeing that, and we're doing well.
And is there a specific kind of group that you're kind of seeing a lot of improvement from, some that you're most impressed with, and anything like that? Just not.
I think collectively we're improving. The receivers have a lot on their plate. They do. It's no secret that we utilize them in a bunch of different ways. But I would say the whole offense together. We're moving along day at a time.
So, running game kind of started slow today, maybe. But did you it seemed like they finished pretty strong.
Yeah, we twofold. We have a really good defensive line, so and we know that. So if we can run against our guys, and Coach Smith and the defensive staff does a great job of giving us different looks and different things. So we feel that if we can, get those looks, and they give us a lot of different looks, that we're okay. So it did, and it was good to see that. That's why we played 4 quarters, and it didn't start awesome, but they kept playing, and we made some plays, and we kept handing the ball, and that's our identity. We're gonna run the football. So good, bad, or different, we're gonna find a way to run the football, and it just takes one. So no, it was good. It was good.
By my count, it seemed like Giovanni maybe got more snaps than Evan. Do you need to see, right, because of all you saw, all that you have in the bank already, seeing Evan? Did you need to see more of that from Giovanni? That the plan, and what did you see from him?
We tried to get him as close to we can. He was out there more snaps. A lot of those, and those are counting those dead snaps. So we counted the live snaps. If penalty, he probably did. If we just complete snaps, they tried to have about the same. But with Vonnie, he does. Evan's got 15 practices on him, but they're both doing a great job of competing. The strength of that quarterback room just can't be one player, and they're better because they're both in there, and they know that this job is not going to be one day. It's not going to be one rep. It's not going to be 1 week. They're going to have to earn it, and I think they both know that we want to take care of the football, and that quarterback's got to make the other 10 guys in the room a little better, and they're doing that. So I've liked what I've seen out of both of them.
Can you correlate at all those two guys? Now, you weren't calling plays at Montana State in 23, but you guys utilized Mellett and Chambers right together. Is there some kind of thing that can match up here?
Yeah, I think every situation's a little different. Am I totally against playing 2 guys? No, if that's what's best for us, and I don't know. We still are halfway through this thing, so it could be, or it couldn't be. I'm still, our sole focus is can one of these guys go out and take the job, and make this football team better when they're in it, and make the 10 guys around them better. If there's a situation where they don't, I think anything's on the table, but it's really whatever's best for the situation. The skill set of those guys are a little different. Tommy is one of the most unique athletes I've ever had the fortune to coach. So there's not another Tommy, but there's definitely some similarities. But I guess from the outside you could see that, but I don't know. We'll see.
Just step forward. You kind of talked about this a little bit earlier. We talked about the wide receiver room. You've seen like how Kajai's been able to be, but also Colin Chase and JoJo. What you've kind of been able to see from that entire like room as a whole.
Well, I think the room as a whole has developed greatly in just the time since we've been here. Obviously, we added Colin and JoJo, and those are two guys that make the room better. And again, like I'd mentioned with the quarterback room, it's just not one guy in there. We're going to play a lot of guys, and our offense is a job offense. You know, there's different jobs that we need to do, and there's different people to do those jobs. But we're going to ask our guys to do a lot of different things. You know, we are. They're going to move a lot. They're going to be asked to block. They're going to be asked to go make contested catches, and we need more, and they know they need more, and we're going to keep pushing them. And Coach Roundtree and Coach Sheehan, they're doing a great job of getting those guys ready to go and take it one day at a time.
And you talked about this earlier as well. Like the running game is going to be your bread and butter. Coach Keels talked about that. You guys have 3-4 versatile kind of running backs. Brian Hunter-Smith. You have Torres who came back. Jay Hucker came in. Joquez Smith. How important is it kind of have like guys that are good at separate things, but then just kind of bring them in all together?
Yeah, I firmly believe, not just because of what we've done, but we have, good football teams can run the football, and we got to be able to run the football. But even though we have those backs, the guys up front, we'll go as far as the O-line's going to take us. And I use the analogy with them. It's like having 3 Ferraris in the garage and no gas in them. So our O-line we're gonna go as far as they're gonna take us. Having those 3 guys help, don't get me wrong. I think we're gonna get there. If you would have looked at practice 8 of spring to practice 8 now, we're growing. Are we gonna rush or look like Montana State right away? No, we're not. But that's where we're trying to get, and every place is a little unique. Players are different, schemes different, just a tad bit, and our offense is fluid enough to adjust it to what we're doing well and who we have. We're in the process of doing that.
What's the kind of just the growth you've seen from that offensive line you talked about? So night and day from spring ball to now, just that growth from that line, from their line position.
Yeah, I think understanding what we do in the run game, and then understanding all the different looks that you're going to see. We're going to get a lot of looks. We're going to get a ton of looks, and like I mentioned before, Coach Smith and the defense staff does a great job of giving us a lot of those looks. And that D line and the front 7, they're really good. So they're getting better each and every day of seeing different looks and how to play together. Because one of the big thing that I truly believe, I think playing quarterback is really, really hard. I think consistently getting 5 O-linemen to be synchronized and communicate and play is probably the hardest thing to do in football. And Coach Johnson, I wouldn't want anybody else out there doing that and getting those guys going. And he's doing a great job, and the guys are eager and they're buying in. So we're getting better.
Yeah, so I didn't think I'd be coming here today asking you maybe about Jacoby Hills and Luke in particular, how they're coming along.
Well, this is point in case of why we double rep. We double rep because we have to quickly mature a lot of people. If we would not have double repped, Jacoby is 200 less snaps. So coming here and putting in that philosophy and Coach Keeler starts up there 100% bought into getting our guys the most reps we can for situations like this. So they are developing. And they are getting better, and they just got to believe in themselves, and they're getting better, and they're seeing it each and every rep. And when you're going against guys like we have, Sekou and Cam and Whitaker, you're going against those guys every day, you're going to get better. And they're getting better, and Jacoby and those guys are getting better.
So, excellent offensive coordinator once told me there's basically 2 ways you try to run the ball. At this point, you either go like 12, you go heavy, you try to push people, or you try to spread them out. And your offense, what do you want to do one of those things, both of those things?
It's, we're figuring out who we are right now. We have the ability to do everything. I think you could see both of those things. I think for us, we think numbers, angles, and grass, and different ways to put guys in different situations and force the defense to communicate. You pair that with tempo, you pair that with motions and shifts and different schemes, and you pair that with putting different defenders in conflict, and then you marry them all together, and you have this giant ecosystem where it could look like a lot. So, you know, that's why some clips out there today, you know, you see a bunch of different things and one guy spits, or you see another thing and it's 12 personnel and another thing spits. I tell this to our offense and our QBs is we want to make sure that we're not getting complacent with the consistent play. It might not look like a big play, but everything you add in is a big play. You know, just because it didn't hit doesn't mean it's not helping us and not helping the ecosystem. So we can do a little bit of everything.
Is your offensive sort of system still kind of in the design phase? You really, right, only been running it for a year, right?
Well, you know, I'd be lying if I sat up here and said that this system is mine alone. You know, this system could date back to Coach Moorhead at Penn State and Mississippi State and Oregon, to Coach Housewright at Montana State. I've just been lucky to be around a bunch of smart people and taken those things and everything they have done and say, I like this, I like that. Now, how can I put my own spin on it? But a lot of what we do is could probably tie back to those roots, and not just them, but a lot of people are doing what we're doing. I think what's different from what I have put on it and the great coaching staff we have is we just, you know, some different things that our players do well. If we had different players, we might do different things. So yeah, no, it's not. I wouldn't say it's mine. I would say it's a lot of people's.
Radakush, you know, he looks like he's running around doing things, but he's not. Radakush.
Yep.
I just wanted to say, you know, is he expecting him back soon? It seems like he's out there, but not right now. A lot of contact.
Yeah, right now, you know, with it is, if we had to play a game day, he'd be fine. He'd play. You know, it's one of those where we need that tight end group. We need to get reps from those guys, and I know what Ryder can do. You know, like you mentioned about Evan earlier, I know what Ryder can do in those 15 practices. So he's fine and he's going to be a big part. And if we needed him, if we played today, he'd play.